In this video, we're going to be showing you what the most overpowered striker build is to use in FIFA 23 Pro Clubs. Ideally, you would have your player maxed out before you use this build, at least from level 90 to 100. If you enjoy videos like these and you want to see more FIFA builds for maxed out characters, then remember to hit the like button below and also subscribe to the channel to stay notified when that does happen, and also click the link in the description and subscribe to our second channel as well. Over there we post Call of Duty content. Okay, so first we want to start off with the profile. Now of course we selected striker as the position. For the height we've selected 6'2". Now this is very important and I'll go on to explain this later, but the height and weight are a lot higher than they would be in FIFA 22. There's a big difference in FIFA 22 and FIFA 23 with the drop-offs to the pace if you increase the height. Same thing with the weight as well. It doesn't affect it as much as it used to, and this is going to be very important when we move over to the attributes side of the build. I've also selected right foot. This one doesn't matter, you can be right or left, it doesn't really make a difference. So the next step is to move over to the perks. Now by this point you should have all 3 perk slots, so I will start off with the first one, which is Poacher. Now this is actually one of the first ones you unlock, but basically because you are a striker and you'll be in the box, it's going to be a lot nicer if you're taking shots kind of up close and personal and you're able to do those a lot better, so that's why I've selected Poacher. I've also selected Skilled Dribbler. This makes a massive difference in FIFA 23. Dribbling in this game is much more difficult to do than in FIFA 22. Your attributes need to be very high before you actually start to notice a difference, so that is why I've selected Skilled Dribbler. And finally I've selected Tireless Runner as well. Now stamina is a big thing in this game, being able to get that second win and get back in the game, especially because our character is going to be a lot more heavier set, he's going to be a lot more stronger on the ball, he's going to need that stamina to be able to continue to move as fast as the other players. Okay, so now we want to move over to the attributes. Now I'm going to explain this in a lot more detail because this is actually a lot more trickier to understand. So in this game, there's currently a thing going on where if your character is lengthy in its run type, it will make the character much faster than other players. Now, in order to get this, you need to have your strength be 15 points higher than your agility, and so you want to deselect all the agility points and select all the strength points to make your character much stronger on the ball. And if you add this with pace, especially if you're a max build, you are going to have a very overpowered character. So we're going to start off with physical. Now a lot of the things in this build are quite optional because you have 185 skill points in FIFA 23, which is quite a lot. It means you can basically select anything you want, more or less. So obviously a lot of the things I've applied here is just for personal preference, but some of them have to be done. So to start with, the left side of the attribute, so you're going to want to select strength, of course, because we need to build the strength up to get that lengthy run type. Then we're going to select reactions and we're going to select strength again, and then we're going to select the bull archetype. That is the most important few attributes to select. I have also selected aggression as well, and I've also selected reactions too, but the most important 4 are these 4 going down this way. The rest of them you can just apply if you want. So now we want to move over to the other side. Now I've selected stamina here. This is going to be another trend for me as well. This is more of a personal preference thing. I like to select stamina on my character because I want them to stay kind of in the game a lot longer than everyone else, and this is another attribute for me in game that makes a massive difference. So I've selected stamina here, reactions here. Ideally I would prioritize stamina again, so on the right hand side you want to select that, and I've selected reactions, and that's the only 4 you have to select. The other 2, again, I've just done it as an optional thing, you don't actually have to add it. Okay, so from here we want to move over to dribbling. We still don't apply anything to defending, of course, because that would be kind of silly to do. Now on the right hand side I've selected dribbling all the way down. Now again, as I've mentioned before, dribbling's a major weakness in FIFA 23. Basically, if you are a starter build and you don't have a lot of dribbling, you're not going to be able to do that much at all individually. You're going to have to rely on passing a lot and being able to kind of move the ball around as a team. So selecting dribbling just just lets you make more successful runs. The next thing I've selected is attacking, position and agility, and that is just to move down to skill moves, and finally the Maestro archetype. Now this is going to increase your dribbling even further, and it's also going to increase your agility a little. I don't actually want a lot of agility again so we can get that lengthy type, so I've actually deselected them all off here, and all I want is as much dribbling as possible basically. On the other side, I've selected balance twice. I've not really paid much attention to this. The archetype links is not really that important here for my striker build personally, so I've just skipped it. So next we want to move over to passing. Now here is where you can compromise if you don't have a max build. You can save some skill points for this and apply it somewhere else. As a striker, you don't need to pass, especially things like long passing, as much as some of the other players, like for example midfield players, they would need to pass a lot. But in my case, I have extra skill points to waste, so I've just applied them all here. I've also put down basically 4 down on short passing and 4 down on long passing. I've ignored vision, we don't need it, and I've also ignored the architect archetype as well. We also do not need that either. Okay, so now we want to move over to shooting. Now there's a lot more selected here, so obviously I'll explain what's going on. So one advantage to making your player a lot more stronger on the ball is that they have increased shot power naturally, and I want to lean into that even more, especially with this build. This is what makes this build really overpowered as well, because you can actually have really strong shots and really good weak foot as well. So you basically are able to shoot on either side, whether you're left or right. It doesn't even make a difference at this stage because I've got it selected so that I have 5-star weak foot as well. But I've selected shot power twice, weak foot once, shot power again, and I've just skipped the sniper archetype because we do not need it. I've also selected long shots all the way down. I've selected headers. Now this is less important. Again, if you need to compromise and remove some points off, remove them off of headers, but I've put them on just because my player is a lot taller as well due to this build, so you should be able to get off headers as well. So I thought, why not? I'll select some headers, some heading attributes basically, so we can kind of make use of that as well. And then I've selected finishing all the way down. I've selected weak foot to complete the 5-star weak foot, and I've also selected the finisher archetype as well. So at this stage, your shooting should be more or less perfect. It's kind of really difficult to actually miss shots or not get anything on target, at least with all of these attributes selected. So as long as you're on max build and you have the skill points to spend, I would definitely recommend putting it on. Okay, and the final thing to select is obviously pace. Now, as you can see, I've selected absolutely everything here, and making your player as fast as possible, especially when they are kind of stronger and heavier set, is obviously going to be an advantage. If you have to compromise again, the best thing to do is leave out the one on the left and leave out the one on the right, and try to get just the cheetah archetype. But I've just selected everything because I have the skill points to do it, so it's basically just make my player as fast as humanly possible. But for everyone else who doesn't have max points to use, then the best thing to do is just deselect the right and left if you can, and that will mean that you're not spending as much on this while still simultaneously getting good pace. And there you have it. That is the most overpowered striker to use in FIFA 23 Pro Clubs. I do urge you to run some games using this build. You'll be very, very surprised. You just fly past literally other people in the pitch. It's not even a contest half the time. It's actually quite bad. I don't think it's going to get patched anytime soon. I don't think EA really care about FIFA Pro Clubs, to be honest. I think they're more focused on Ultimate Team as well, so I don't really see this getting patched anytime soon. And same thing goes for the Volta glitch that was running. I think it's been patched now, but obviously it's been a week, so a lot of people have already leveled their character to 100 anyway, like myself. Anyways, as mentioned, if you do want to see more overpowered builds for left mid, right mid, centre back, left back, right back, you name it, then just remember to hit the like button below and also subscribe to the channel to be notified when we do put those out. And also click the link in the description and subscribe to the second channel as well. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching.